I told you earlier about how I got down to St. Thomas. Once I got down to St. Thomas on the Voyager, we were shaken down from 15 people in the delivery crew to 5 people who were going to be on board for the whole season. They had to fix the boat up after such a wonderful trip down. They had a lot of varnishing to do, and they had to varnish locker doors and companionway ladders. And since we were down in the Caribbean, they'd pull all that stuff up on deck so it would dry quicker. They had strung an awning up between the 2 masts. We called that the whiskey staysail. The navigator and myself, who were not in the regular crew, we were shaken out. We got a chance to live on the boat for another 2 weeks, looking for work someplace else. We would get up every morning, the crew would get up every morning at about 7 o'clock in the morning, have breakfast and start work. Peter Metcalf, the navigator, and myself would roll out of the bunks at about the crack at 10. Sit underneath the whiskey staysail and have what we call the West Indies breakfast. That's a handful of cornflakes and a bottle of rum. And then we'd watch the circus. Because what would happen is about 11 o'clock in the morning, this big black cloud had come rolling over the mountain. Dump about 2 inches of rain in 10 minutes. Now, if you've ever done any varnishing, you know you don't want water to hit your wet varnish because it pits the varnish. That means you got to sand it down and do it all over again. So, at about 11:01, as this black cloud is moving across the mountain, the crew starts looking at the sky, grabbing anything they can and trying to get it underneath the whiskey staysail. Only problem is, wet varnish, fingerprints, just as bad as pitted varnish from the rain. So everybody's trying to be super careful getting this stuff in. Peter Metcalf and I, we're not working, we're not getting paid, so we're just eating our cornflakes and drinking our rum. Watching this whole circus go on, and the captain came walking by one morning and he goes, "You know, Rick, you can't get anything done down here. If it isn't the sun, it's the rum. If it isn't the rum, it's the rain." Peter looked at me and goes, "Rick, there's a song in that." And here it is. And you have a part to sing. Way down in the Caribbean, it's hard to manage to get things done. It's enough to drive you insane. All of the sun and the rum and the rain. Yes, now way down in the Caribbean, it's hard to manage to get things done. It's enough to drive you insane. All of the sun and the rum and the rain. Well, you've been out to sea so long, you want to sit and listen to the reggae song. There is work that must be done in the hot and blistering sun. Well, chip that paint and slush down that mast. You'll broil as long as the job does last. It does no good to complain about the sun and the rum and the rain. Yes, way down in the Caribbean, it's hard to manage to get things done. It's enough to drive you insane. All of the sun and the rum and the rain. Yes, now way down in the Caribbean, it's hard to manage to get things done. It's enough to drive you insane. All of the sun and the rum and the rain. Well, it rains hard, but not for long, but long enough to make everything else go wrong. All that's sanded is wet on the boat, just when the bright work needs another coat. And then the power is shorted out. You don't know whether you should cry or if you should shout. The only 3 things they can explain, they are the sun and the rum and the rain. Yes, way down in the Caribbean, it's hard to manage to get things done. It's enough to drive you insane. All of the sun and the rum and the rain. Yes, now way down in the Caribbean, it's hard to manage to get things done. It's enough work is done, that's the time you can go out, look for some fun. Buy $1 bottle of rum, have a drink, then give your mate some. Another bottle, maybe 2 or 3 more. The crew is happy, but knows what's in store. Tomorrow morning there will be some great pain because of the sun and the rum and the rain. Yes, way down in the Caribbean, it's hard to manage to get things done. It's enough to drive you insane, all of the sun and the rum and the rain. Yes, now way down in the Caribbean, it's hard to